Without any further delay, I would like to welcome Dr. Mani Madhukar from IBM. He has been a part of our team, our university from a long period, and we have been doing workshops and inviting Dr. Mani to deliver lecture on various technologies in our institute. So I would like to welcome Dr. Mani Madhukar from IBM, and to formally welcome the resource person of this session, I would like to request the coordinator of this session to formally introduce this resource person.
Good evening, sir. We
You can
welcome you
share your
again.
screen first.
Okay.
Is it visible? You can try sharing it again.
Sir, is it visible?
Yes, it is visible, I guess.
Okay. Good evening, everyone. Once again, Dr. Mani Madhulkar is a program lead at IBM Innovation Center for Education with over 18 years of experience during innovation, academic collaboration, and digital transformation in ED tech and technology sectors. He holds a PhD in computer science from Vanasthali Vidyapeeth, a master in computer engineering from Graphicera University, a bachelor in computer engineering from Hemti Nandan Bahuguna Galwar University, and an executive program in management from the McIntyre School of Commerce, University of Virginia. At IBM, he has led national level initiatives such as IBM Skill Builds, fostering future workforce development through cloud, AI, blockchain, and IoT technologies. His previous role include architect and developer advocate, cloud partner lead, and technical lead AI. Dr. Madhu also served as an adjunct professor at Indira Gandhi Delhi Technical University for Women and Gurukul Kangri Vishwavidyalaya and is actively engaged in mentoring startups, advising academic bodies like AICTE and NITTR and emerging technologies across India. We welcome you, sir.
Sure, thank you, ma'am, and good evening, everyone. It's a pleasure joining, all of you. And I'm sure you had a great learning journey for last few days that you have been into this FDP series for uh, focusing on design thinking, right? So I'm sure between 17 to 21st, right, you already had something like seven, six, seven, or maybe more sessions, right, across design thinking. And today, of course, there was I joined a bit early, so I could hear a lot of the session. I'm sure was definitely great by Dr. Lake and her team, focusing on design thinking and AI. So let me start sharing my screen because I had planned to talk about something uh, you know prior. It was different. I was thinking about talking something in about AI in terms of design thinking. But I believe you already had a good conversation in the previous session and even others. So I basically am looking forward to have something else today. And and please keep this session interactive, right? I do not want to be very monotonous in terms of talking about what I have to say. Now, what I intend to do with you is a bit different from the other sessions that you would have. Um, yeah, any questions? Any? I see a hand raised. Any point that you would like to talk about? KP Singh, sir. Okay, maybe not. So, what I'm going to do with you is a bit something different. I'm going to take you through a program that IBM offers, which is called Enterprise Design Thinking. Uh, and I would like to understand if any of you has already taken it in past. Now, why this program? Let me explain. Whatever learning you would have done in last 2, 3, 3.5 days, right? That would have been a lot of theoretical concepts, a lot of practical concepts as well, I'm sure. But this session is going to be somewhat different. Why? Because what you actually do with me in this session between today and tomorrow, this can lead to you achieving something like a badge, a design thinking practitioner badge, something like this. So once we are able to complete this journey together, you and me, through this session, you should be able to get this badge. Now, this is a badge which I did in 2016, right? And then I definitely went through design thinking multiple times in last almost like 8, 9 years. But my first brush was design thinking was in 2016, when I was doing this program. So this program, the content is pretty structured, very easy to grasp. And more importantly, once you complete it, you should be able to have this digital badge. I'm sure most of you understand what a digital badge is. You can use this digital badge on your LinkedIn, on your social media handles, on your resume. So basically, it stands as a testimonial about what you have learned, what you have achieved, and I'm sure this would be a great takeaway for all of you, who have joined this FDP and have already been doing all these sessions. So anybody in this group who has already completed this course, please just put a yes or a no on the chat, right? That will help me shape how do we go forward from here. So I'll basically talk about enterprise design thinking with you with multiple aspects to it. But at the same time, this is an additional thing that I want all of you to benefit from as a takeaway. Okay, so I see a few no there, which is great because that basically gives us a good common ground to start from. So I'm sure you would be excited to add this digital badge to your resume, to your profile, to your expertise. I'm sure you'd all be keen to do that, right? In case you haven't obtained it yet. So, and besides, there is no cost involved to this program that I'm taking you through. So you could be absolutely sure about it. Okay. Now, what I want you to do is do two things for me, please. One, in case you have joined in from a mobile phone, try to join in from a laptop because that's the way, because I'll be walking you through the content of this course as we go together. So what will happen is two things. One, we'll be able to complete the course together. And two, you'll be able to refer to the content of the course that I'll be talking to you about, right? So you don't have to take special efforts, to basically complete the course. So two things. One, please try to log in from a laptop if possible. If you're on a mobile phone, it's just 5 minute thing, pull it out, log in on that. Two, I want you to have a paper and a pen or a pencil with you. Just keep a paper and a pencil or a pen with you because we'll be doing some kind of exercise in this, right? And this is interactive, right? Um, this is fun to learn. Otherwise, design thinking is a process. So let's not make it difficult or tardy or it's very light. It's very lightweight for that matter, right? So I'm sure most of you will enjoy this journey. So what I would do is I'll basically share a link with you. I'm putting it on the chat. Okay. I want you to go to this link, all of you. Okay. Before I formally start, because I want you to come along with me on this journey. I can get it started, but then in case you're also along, the journey will be better. It will be more fruitful for both, all of us over here. So I would request you to open up this link. Okay. Once you open up this link, you'll see something like this. You'll see a page like this. Okay. So do not worry. All you need to do is you can create a sign up using your Gmail account or whatever Gmail, Hotmail, whatever account you would have. You can just sign up with that account. It's like a 2.5 minute job in case you're on a laptop and maybe similar time in case you're on a mobile phone. But do this so that whatever we do from there together, it gets recorded. Now, what happens is when you actually browse this course, I'm going to do it in a while with you. So when you browse this course, the course completion gets tracked. And once the course completion is done, for example, it says 0% complete, right? So once the, as and when the course, I'll be going through the contents of the course, it'll basically, uh, take up the completion. It has some MCQs built in within the course, which we'll do together. And then finally, when you're able to complete the course, the badge gets automatically issued to you. Okay. So what I'll do is I'll quickly click on. So I'll just give you 5 minutes more so that you can, go to this link, register yourself, sign up yourself there. And once you have done it, we'll all be on the same page, this page that you see. Okay. Is anybody following this up? You can just put a yes or a no there so that I know I should wait for you to come along or I can just proceed. Is anybody completing the same task along with me? Just put a yes or a no there on the chat so that I know, should I get started or should I wait for you for a while?
Yes, sir. We
Okay,
are
so
doing
the
it.
link, okay, great. So link would be opening, Raghuramji, can you please try that again? So it's opening for others, so I'm sure it'll open for you. When it'll open it up, this will be something like this. Okay, this is the page you will get. Here you need to sign up because unless you sign up, you'll not be able to access the course content. So please do sign up. It'll hardly take 2 minutes for doing that, right? And then we'll get it started. So please take the time to sort of come to this place. Okay, let me see.
It says account not found.
So yeah, you have to create an account on that page, no? You don't have an account there, right? So you'll have to create an account there. Okay, are you not able to see my screen?
Mani sir is there or not? Jigyasa?
Yes, sir.
Mani sir is there or not?
Sir, Manisha is not there. He's not visible. I guess there isn't some connection error.
Okay, okay.
Yeah.
In the meantime, you can go and search for IBM Skill Build and try to log in.
Okay, am I audible?
Yes,
Yes.
sir, you are
So,
audible.
yes, sir, you are
Okay, sir.
audible.
I do not have the share privileges, sir. Can you allow me to share?
I am checking, sir. Now you have shared, right?
Yeah, yeah, I have it now. Okay, is it visible? My screen, is it visible to you now? So when you actually clicked on that link, this is where you would have, gone to the link would have taken you to this page. Here you need to sign up with your Gmail, Hotmail, whichever mail ID that you would like to, right? And once you complete the sign up process, um, this is where you will actually be coming to. Are we all together? Is anybody on this page?
No, sir.
You can just,
Actually, we are not seeing your shared screen.
I'm sharing
Screen
my,
is visible to me. I
yeah,
will just
so
I will just pin the screen for everyone.
it should be visible to everybody if it is visible to you, sir.
Screen is visible to me. I guess the participants, some of the participants say visible, some are not having this.
So those who are not able to see it, maybe a network problem at their end, I guess, because otherwise it's shared for everybody, sir.
Yes, it is shared for everybody.
Right, right. So what I'll do is I'll, get it started with this. So those of you who have been able to register and who are on this page, right? The page that you are able to see, enterprise design thinking page, the course page. Can you just quickly put a yes? I can, so that I can see a few yes there and I can proceed. Those of you who have been able to, sort of register, just say a yes there so that I can, go on from here. Those of you who have not been able to do it yet, I would request you to please follow the link again and do a registration on the link so that we are all there. So once you register on the link, you will be on this link on this page, which I am actually sharing right now. So let me get it started from here. And why are we doing this? I already explained that to you. I'm not sure if you're able to see it earlier, but then just in case, once you complete, this particular program that I'm walking you through, you should be able to get an enterprise design thinking practitioner badge, right? Which you can put here on your resumes, on your social media handles, right? I'm sure you all would also be having a, a Credly profile, right? So where whatever learning you do is basically reflected in the form of badges over here. Okay, so let me get it started. So I'll click on next, guys. This basically opens up a page for me where it is saying what do you want to do. So I basically want to start the course completion. So I'll say next here. Okay, and yeah, I basically would say that yeah, so I'll click on this learning plan. Okay, and once I'm here, see, there are a couple of things to do. We'll do it later on. Don't worry about it. This is basically to create a Credly account because your batch will be reflecting over here, right? So don't worry. We'll get it started with this particular thing, right? This is the course that we are going to be doing today, right? So I'll say go to this activity. So all of you can actually go to this activity, right? Once you get this page, click on go to this activity, right? And you should be able to have this coming up in your in an additional window, in a new window for you. Okay. See this? I'm basically on a course which says Enterprise Design Thinking. It's a self-paced course. You can do it now. You can even do it later. Doing it now means it'll help you understand the concepts that I'm going to cover today, right? And what I'm going to do is I'll say continue here. So as I said, this will automatically be tracking, whatever content we are browsing through, whatever content we are going through. So I'll go from from the very start of this course, right? And I'll take you through this content. Now, just to get us started, right? Why are we studying this design thinking? Why do we need to know about design thinking, right? So the reason is, in any organization, there are multiple departments that work, right? And most of these departments, they have their individual goals sometimes, and sometimes they will have a combined goal to pursue, right? Similarly, for example, in the university or the institute that you are working in, there would be a departmental goals and then there would be a institutional goals, right? But when we are working across big teams and very big organizations, it's really important that we do a coherent thinking, we do work together coherently as a team to achieve an objective, right? And when we have to do that, design thinking basically helps in terms of working together. It basically helps in creating, a kind of a unified approach for all those who are actually working together, right? So what I'm going to do is this course, I'll quickly take you through and we'll talk about this. So this course is all about what do we understand with design thinking, how do you use the various techniques in terms of design thinking, what's the purpose of reinvention, what is prototyping, what is ideation, and I'm sure you would have completed a certain number of topics that are already being discussed. Once you complete this course, this is the badge that you see you'll be getting, right? Which will be available to you through your Credly wallet. Okay, so let me get this going, right? And let me start this topic about enterprise design thinking. Now, I had asked you to keep a paper and a pen along with you, right? And I'll tell you the reason now. So let's say I am actually, going to a florist shop, right? And I want to buy some flowers from there, right? So typically, when you buy a flower, the flower has to be for a certain uh, reason, for a certain purpose, right? Whether you want to gift it to somebody or whether you want to bring it at your home and put it in a vase, whatever, right? But then there has to be a reason for that flower, right? And how are you gonna be using that flower, right? So let's say, we basically that's what typically in enterprise design thinking we do, right? It's about, right, taking time to understand the people whom you are designing it for, aligning your teams around a clear purpose, and then creating a solution which is thoughtful, relevant, and feasible, right? That's what the entire purpose of design thinking is, right? So in this session, in this exercise, we'll quickly take you to that, things about it. Okay. So yeah, let's go forward, right? So anybody, and by the way, design thinking is such a beautiful thing. This can be practiced by anybody and everybody. Even for a day-to-day problem solving approach, you can use design thinking. It's not just that you can do it for, or enterprises use it, or you can do it for a bigger thing. You can actually do it for anything for that matter, right? Okay. So by the way, you actually do it in consciously or subconsciously, or so anybody who devises any course of action which is aimed at changing existing situation into a preferred one is nothing. This process is nothing but a design process, right? I'm sure everybody would have talked to you in the previous sessions about this, right? Um, right. So design thinking is more about an experience, guys, right? That we want the other person to feel or ourselves to feel. Now, let's say I'm sure a lot of you would be at your joining from your home, maybe with a cup of coffee or maybe cup of tea or whatever, right? That would have made you, because you've already been into into this session for more than 1.5 hours. So I'm sure you would be tired for that matter. So So let's say, you want to have a cup of tea, right, or a cup of coffee. Now, just imagine what is important for you. Is it the coffee vending machine that is important for you? Or number two, is it the restaurant that you're going to for having that coffee that's important to you? Is it the cup in which that you're going to have your tea or of a coffee, is that important to you? So depending upon, if you see this image talks about it, there can be multiple components in this entire setup of having a cup of a tea or a coffee, right? But the point is, it's all about that experience of having the tea or the coffee, which is something which is of significance for you, right? So it could be basically the machine which is dispensing the cup, the tea coffee for you, or the cup that you're enjoying your coffee into, right? So an experience is more than any product or service. I keep telling this, very often. You may have a cup of gold. You may be drinking from a cup of gold or a silver, but again, what's important is, one, what is that you're having in that cup, right? Is it cold drink, hot drink? Is it nectar, or what? It can be anything, right? And when you are having it, how are you feeling about it? How is that drink making you feel about it, right? So it's all about that experience, right? So that answer about how are you feeling about that proposition is that experience that you want to do. So design thinking basically requires you to consider a person's experience in order to focus on their human needs, right? So this is very important. This is basically the why we do design thinking, right? Now let's do a small quick example. Take a piece of paper. I'm sure you would have pulled out a piece of paper, right? I'm again repeating it because I want you to click a picture of it and upload it on the chat, right? Whatever I'm asking you to do. So take a piece of paper and use a pen or a pencil to design a vase over there, right? You can design it the way you want, but all of you, please take a piece of paper and maybe a pen or a pencil, and then design a vase through on that pen and paper, using that pen and paper, right? Now once you have done that, please share a few pictures of yours there. You can click a picture, upload it there, or you can okay, I'm sure now these screen problems are all gone. So you can quickly click a picture of what you have designed there as a vase and share it with us. Can you see this? Can somebody please click those pictures and upload on the chat? I'm sure you can see that. Yeah, please just click a picture and upload it here. uh, I don't have anything to show on my screen right now. It's an experiment. It's a practical that I want you to do, right? So just make a design a vase and click a picture and upload it here on the chat. And as you upload it, I'll scroll down further. Now, okay, so few of you may have designed it and may not have uploaded it yet here, but please do that, right? Okay, okay. Shilpi ma'am, I'm not sure why it's so for you, because I am sharing my entire screen, and if you are able to see it, I'm sure you should also be able to see it, ma'am. There is no reason for you not to be able to see it. Okay, so guys, we were basically talking about designing a vase, right? So on a piece of paper and pen, please use it. Now I'm just going in order to, for the sake of brevity, I'm just going forward. So I'm sure different people have different ways of looking at it, right? Somebody would make it like this, like like a blank vase. Somebody would actually design it, maybe a few flowers along with it. Somebody would design it in a different manner. They can be all different kinds of shapes: round, rectangular, square, maybe a elliptical, all kinds of shapes and sizes it could be, right? So it's basically how you perceive. When I said how does your, when I said please design a vase, right? So that's how you basically see it, right? Okay, let me quickly see if anybody has uploaded their, pictures here. Okay, if not, please do, right? Okay, let's go further, guys. So this was the first exercise. Now the second exercise is, see, we basically use a vase to hold some flowers, right? Now, if I read, if I repurpose the prompt, because you were talking about prompt in the previous class. So if I repurpose the statement, the prompt, to explain what I want from you, and I now say that, instead of just a vase, in case you have a, vase, how do you like to enjoy those, kind of flowers in your home, right? If you have to design that how you put those flowers in your home, you may actually be, maybe doing it differently, right? Now I'm not asking you to do it again because it will take a lot of time for us, but then just in case, if I want this time, if I ask you to design a better way to enjoy flowers, at your home, you may come up with a different design this time. So last time you may have just created a blank vase, but then this time, you may actually create drawings of different kind, something that you would like to have, you would like to relish flowers at, right? Somebody may like to hang it on the wall, somebody may like to hang it, from the ceiling, somebody would like to hang it again, put it on the, on the flower pot near the sofa set. Somebody would like to put it on our dining table, somebody would like to gift it to their spouses, friends, whatever, right? So each person would actually have a different experience with different experience of enjoying flowers. So the theme was, how do you enjoy the flowers in your own home, right? So that's the experience. Now that experience can have multiple ways of doing it, right? As I said, these can be some examples, and you could have drawn something of your own as well, right? Now, if I go back, and try to understand what we were doing, so these are two different prompts. One prompt was just about designing a vase, whereas another was, how do you cherish the flowers in your, at your home? So depending upon how you perceive it, you will see it in a different manner, right? Right. So a blank vase or an empty vase may not be an appealing one unless you put some flowers into it again. So the entire proposition is coming towards about the experience of how you want to give the user an experience, right? Okay. So let me actually go down further, right? So even though this is about design, but then design thinking is typically a mindset that anybody can apply. Anyone can apply to any process, by the way, right? The entire point is how you can improve the experience of the people who are going to be the users. That's what is the entire underlying, focus behind this entire process of design thinking, right? Now, users are who are these typical users? For you, your student can be a user. For you, your administration can be another user, right? And then it all depends how you are interacting with these users, whether it's item or a product or a service or whatever, right? So the entire point is how you are going to be engaging with them, right? So let's talk about something which we are more interested to learn about, right? And so as we just talked about, right, what is typically a design thinking? A design thinking is a human centered approach to solving problems. Let me say whether it is correct or wrong. So during the course of this, during the journey of this course, you'll find similar questions off and on, again and again, at different places, right? Another question it asks, who can use design thinking, right? So we can say, right, typically product and engineering teams can do it, right? And maybe you can see that. No, see, this basically says it's incorrect. So the point I'm trying to explain to you is, you can always retake that question, right? So there may be a wrong answer for you, but then you can always try and check it out, right? So We can check whether only designers and creative teams can do it. No, even that is not the. So again, I said, anyone working on a problem can use design thinking, right? That's what I've been, telling from the start of this conversation, right? So which is a correct answer. So it can be used by anyone for solving any kind of a problem, right? Okay. Now, how does enterprise design thinking different from design thinking, right? Now, as I said earlier, in enterprises, we have a huge teams, large scale teams, and typically they work on bigger, complex problems, right? So typically, design thinking can, of course, lead you to a solution, to an experience of creating the solution. But in enterprise design thinking, it is more for large scale team to come up at a unified place where you actually go towards a unified approach of solving the problem, right? So okay, so that's what typically design thinking is all about. Okay, let's go further into it. So design thinking is typically a language, a mode of communication. Now I'm sure in your college you have got multiple departments, right? There is a computer science department, there can be a mechanical department, there might be a physics department, there can be a maths department. Then there is administration, which should have multiple people there. There would be within administration, there can be sub departments like fees, student management, so many, examination, and so on and so forth, right? Now, when you actually are looking for a system for an entire university, you need to bring all of these stakeholders together, right? Now, when these all stakeholders will come together, they need to talk in a language, I'm sure language is English or Hindi or whatever, but then they basically need to communicate in a language which can be easily converted into design thinking oriented approach, right? So there is actually a vocabulary for design thinking which can put the words to work, right? How do you actually define something in a design thinking way? What is that framework? So that framework allows you to speak about design thinking across large teams and companies, and hence stay aligned through a shared language. So we'll talk about what is that framework, what's that vocabulary, what are those principles, right? Now that basically guide a design thinking process. Okay, so let's quickly go through it. I'm sure you would have seen this or talked about it, heard about this in multiple sessions in the previous, session that we had in this FDP. We'll quickly skim through it. So those of you who already signed in, who are registered and signed in, please keep scrolling through the content as I am doing, right? So that we are able to also cover the course along with this, right? Now, anything that we do in the course of a day, right? This is guided by some principle, by some logic, right? It can be anything. All that we have to do is we need to stay focused on our user, whom we are designing the system for, whom we are working, to give them a better experience, to basically, improve the solution that we are working on, right? Or collaborate with those team members who bring different perspectives, right? So as I said, in a university, different teams will come together. They may have different perspectives, right? And a examination team will see the same exam from a different perspective compared to how a professor would see it, right? Perceive it as, right? So we need to focus on one, user outcomes, which is very important for us. Two, restless reinvention, right? Keep reinventing, keep iterating, right? And then third most important is diverse, empowered teams. We need to have people from different stakeholders. We need to bring them together. And that's why the loop is all about, observing, reflecting, and making, right? It basically helps you understand what is there currently and what you want to have it in future, right? What is there currently, what is the system currently, and what do you want to make the system as? And in between this journey or of observe and make, you iteratively reflect, right? You basically, keep updating, keep reinventing, keep restlessly reinventing how to make the process better, so that you can give the user a better experience, right? That's the entire thing there. Now next is, how do you, what are the practices, how do you align these things? Three major things again, three keys there: hills, playbacks, and sponsors, users, right? So we'll quickly see this, right? What is all about. So as I said, right, businesses normally thrive when they are able to achieve the goal of the user. Start with people's needs and not the solution, right? What we often do is we focus on the solution more than the user who is actually going to need it for, so what is important is the need of the person, not the solution, right? Similarly, whatever we are, whenever we figure that people are the most essential part of anything, everything rotates, revolves around that person, right? So you do a prototype, give that prototype to the user, you let him work with it, let him give us feedback, you take that feedback in, improve the solution, give it back to him, right? And you keep it doing iteratively till what time? Till you are able to achieve that experience that you want to give to the user, right? Now, this is also very important that you incorporate everybody's perspective. A solution, if developed only by one team, may not fit the requirements of all the other people. If a solution has to be holistic, then it really needs considerations from other people as well. That's why the most important part of design thinking is that you bring all the stakeholders together whenever you are envisaging a solution, right? And that's why if we have been doing this in a physical way, we would actually been doing it like a table and having those whiteboarding with those stickies and all that. But then since we are doing it more like an online one, right? So that's why we are having it this. Now see this. uh, it's really important. It's so much important that how much your team focuses on the user. This is the first thing that you should be really working on, right? How much? Not at all, or how much of it completely, or maybe partially. What percentage, right? So it's really important to understand that. Two, when was the last time you basically tried a new idea, tested a new idea, right? You may have been wanting to maybe start teaching differently because the new set of students are differently tuned. The current generation is not the same generation that used to be 10 years back. So maybe if I'd been teaching for 15 years, maybe it's a time I should try teaching a new approach, taking a new approach to my classrooms, right? Third is how much time, how many times am I actually really taking a feedback from my classroom, from the team, from the people who are there, whom I'm giving an experience, right? Or maybe my fellow teachers. So it's really important that I actually have multiple different perspectives there, right? And to have all of this, as I was talking to you, this is the loop model, right? You, what is the current state of the system, right? How do you know that? You interview users, you watch them work, right? And then because ultimately it's a user who matters most for you, right? Then you basically come together with your ideas, you sort of put it in some methodology, right? And you think you come up with an idea, what you're giving the user, what you're going to give to the user. Again, give it to the user, get the inputs back, right? And then finally, once you have those abstract ideas into a concrete shape, then you are able to improve them better, right? And as we were talking about the three keys, right? The hills, the playbacks, and the sponsor users. I'm sure you would know about that, right? Hills are typically the statements of intent. What do you want to do? What's the purpose of doing all that you want to do, right? So when we are doing it in a physical mode, we typically pick a use case and we try to do the entire, the hills, the playbacks, the sponsor users, the, everything together there. So try to identify who are the users, what will your users be able to do, right? What they were not able to do earlier. And third is, which is more important, is what differentiation are you bringing? And is that differentiation measurable? Because there has to be metric to everything, right? It cannot be vague, right? So that's what, your three W's there. Now, playbacks are basically the stories based on presentations which you would have created for giving the user an experience. Okay, once you have done that, you need to exchange feedback, because those feedbacks will go back into, and then, you'll have a new playback for them. And most importantly, you need to invite users, you know, whether it is an external client, whether it's a future client or end user, who are going to be having that product, who are going to be, having that experience. So it's typically very important that you have those sponsor users, because you need to formalize an agreement, and these sponsor users will be the one who will actually be sponsoring, who will give you that power to do that, right? To use the feedback, right? So principles, loops, keys, they typically together work as a great platform for doing enterprise design thinking, right? It helps the team build, of course, empathy, quickly stay connected, all of that we are doing to, going to do this for. Okay. So let's go further, right? And uh, let's try to take a small business problem. Uh, it can be anything. It can be, how do you retain employees, or it can be something else. Let me give you a fresh perspective to it. Okay. Uh, so we'll take a use case, a case study here. There is typically, a customer called Windsor Airlines. Okay. Now, Windsor Airlines is a problem that their flights are facing consistent delays, right? These consistent delays of these airlines are typically affecting the company's financial performance. Now, we all understand any business, if it has to thrive, it has to perform financially, it has to perform well. So if there is a problem which is pulling down the financial performance of the company, that means the company will not be able to sustain for long, right? If that is the case, we need to figure out the reason, which is doing this. And once we have figured out the reason, we need to figure out the solution for that reason. Okay. So we have got the thing here, right? So point is, there are consistent flight delays with this airlines, because of which there are all kinds of problems. Now the point is, to solve is, how do we make the flights to, actually take off on time, leave on time, right? That's the thing. That's the question that we have, right? Okay. Now, enterprise design thinking is just not about fixing obvious issues. As I said, it's more of an experience, right? You should be trying to see the problem in a more holistic way, right? What is the holistic way? Who are the people affected? What are the real causes of delay? And how can you design a better solution which can help both the airlines and the passengers? See, we are not just talking about airlines here. We're also talking about the passengers here, because we need to give them a better experience. If the flights are delayed, that means the passengers are also having this problem of reaching delayed on their destinations, which in fact will be a major problem for them, right? And that's the reason they would not be taking the flights from Windsor Airlines, right? So that's that journey which we call as reflect, right? Okay. So we can, you can actually put those, these things there. What do you expect from that? What are your hopes? What do you think, what can be the reason of your failures? I'm sure most of you would be familiar with something called a SWOT analysis. This was taught when we were actually doing our undergraduate studies, right? Every time you have to make a decision, people typically take, SWOT analysis, right? The strength, weaknesses, opportunity, and threats, right? Typically how we do it, isn't it? So it's similar to that, right? You're basically trying to understand. Reflect is all about trying to understand, the problems, the hopes, and the fears, right? The solutions that you are thinking about. And then you put all of these on a cards, right? Okay, so let's see hopes. One is, design thinking will help my team work better together. Okay, this is what we are also trying to do, how to use design thinking for a real world problem. And I really want to get a better understanding of what really the design thinking is, right? So this is one part of the journey. This is the hope. What's the fear? Fear is, I may not be able to, it may not be applicable for the use case that I'm trying to use it on, or I may not be able to apply it at my workplace. This is also a possible failure, right? And of course, now if you're not able to apply it, you will not be interested in learning it. But then that's not the point. As I said earlier, you can apply design thinking in anything and everything that you do, right? Okay, so this is where typically this first module ends, right? And once the module ends, there is a small quiz there, guys, right? So yeah, so you can always take this quiz on your own. I can again take it. I can take it again, right? I can do a continuation. So I'm just skipping the quiz for now, and I'm moving on to second module. Okay. because I really want to, take you through this journey of learning more about design thinking today in the today's context. Okay. Now, the most important thing is we really need to understand that success isn't measured by how many features we have built, how many fancy functionalities we have built in an application, if we are looking to build an application and all, right? It's typically measured by how well we are able to help people in reaching their goals. For example, for you, your user typically is a student, right? And I'm sure you know the goal of the student, right? Now, point is, how well are you able to help the student in reaching his or her goal? That's typically would be the experience that your end user will be actually getting, right? Now, let's go further with this, right? Um, Okay, so this is what I was talking to you about. In case we would have done it in a physical mode, we would have actually done a whiteboarding about, the user journey, all those kinds of expectations that we are talking about, right? All of this, we would have done it that way, right? Okay, so number one is you need to identify your users, right? Okay, so, okay, because everyone may have a different way of thinking, right? They can be countless dilemmas, they can be different predicaments, they can be situations which for which you cannot have a solution even for that matter, right? So it's all part of the process. Whenever you start thinking, it always is a part of the users. What you always have to, focus on the user outcomes. What experience do you want to provide to the user? How is that experience going to be better from the one that he is currently having? That's the entire focus for you, right? So focus is on user outcomes. That's what the design thinking principle is. And that basically it means putting all your users at the center of your work and solving for their needs. You are not solving it for the airlines. You are actually solving it for the flyers. The moment you solve it for the flyers, the airlines things will automatically be taken care of, right? If I'm able to get my flyers on the time with this Windsor Airlines, then obviously my problem of a late departure and arrival, at the destination will automatically be taken care of. But what is important for me is that user, that flyer, right? So again, focus on the user outcomes, right? So we should actually talk to ourselves, understanding who are our users, right? What is their current experience, right? And how that can be improved, right? So understanding, so let's take another approach to it, right? Um, let's say I'm a manager, right? So my manager, as a manager, my focus would be different. What would be my focus? Getting the team's goal met, getting the metrics met, right? And at the same time, I should be able to drive user outcomes. If I'm a team member, I basically should be able to understand what are the roles of the various users in their environment, right? How do I basically bring them all together, right? So entire piece is all about having a human-centered design which can anticipate and meet the user needs. That is this entire journey all about, right? So let's come further with this, okay? How do we have this business-centered, human-centered problem resolution? Now, see, there is some part which is just the business objective. There can be some technical constraints. There can be something which I can't do, right? And then there are certain user needs. It may be possibly that I may not be able to fulfill all the user needs. It's very much possible, right? But then at the same time, what I need to figure out is, what are those successful outcomes? So what is my business objective? What is the company wants to achieve, right? It can be anything. It can be anything, right? That's one part. What are my constraints, right? What I can do, what I can't do. For example, if I have to train my students on, let's say, I'm teaching analytics to my students, for example, and then I need to have, certain software for analytics. For example, I need to have an SPSS, or I need to have an iLog, iLog or something, for doing that optimization problems, right? Or maybe an SPSS modeler for doing some kind of analysis that I want to do. And if my student is non-tech, coming from a non-tech background, so I do not expect him to be very tech savvy as well, right? So that's what. So I need to remember what are my technical constraints. At the same time, I need to remember what are the user needs, right? What is that I can make the student learn better, how I can make him or her learn better, right? And at the intersection of all of this will be, what I can do with these all constraints, given, I have those business to meet, business goals to meet, I have those constraints to meet, and I have to, of course, take care of the user needs, right? So all of that has to be taken into consideration. So typically all of this will help me uncover my problem. So let's again come back to the problem was the flight delays were typically negatively performing, giving the financial performance, affecting the financial performance of the team, of the airlines, right? Now, if you see this problem from different lenses, there are multiple people in this entire organization as airlines, right? Let's try to understand the root cause of the original problem, right? So in case you are all here, you can always keep doing it along with me. If you are browsing the course along with me, and please put a yes on the chat so that I am assured that you are doing it. And in case not, then I will come back and revisit a few of these topics, right? Okay, so let's start this. So the business problem we have understood, right? That's a business problem, okay? What may be the reasons of, having this, right? So let's try to understand. Now, typically, if the gate from where the boarding is done, if it is not locked 10 minutes prior the scheduled time, the flight will never be able to take off at the scheduled time. The reason is, after the gate is locked, there are certain checks which are done by and the passenger list is basically handed over to the crew. There are certain checks done by the crew about how many people boarded, and so many more things, right? So it has to be 10 minutes prior. Now, because the dispatchers are the people, who actually give the passenger data to the crew, right? Once the passenger data is given to the crew, then only the gate can be closed, right? Because you would see often that they keep talking on the, announcing it on the airport, right? This flight is about to board, right? Any passengers, last call, they keep on saying, right? Now, the point is, unless the last person has boarded the flight, the dispatchers will not have the updated passenger data, right? Each time they scan the boarding pass, right, whether it is electronic or a card that you swipe it there at the gate, right, they will not be able to know that data, right? Now, unless it is clear that who is on the passenger list, the plane can't fly. It's a mandatory legal requirement, right? Now, since the gate agents, the people at the gate, they struggle to have last minute passenger changes. What changes? Somebody did not turn up. Somebody is still in the process of checking in, right? All those changes are possible, right? So unless they are able to have that list in 10 minutes prior to the flight departure, they will not be able to let the flight go in time, right? So this was our original problem, right? A consistent flight delay is basically hampering the financial performance, right? Okay. Now, this is what is important. We should always do this 5 Ys, 5 Ws. I'm not sure if you understand this, but then always ask these 5 questions whenever you are in a situation. What are these 5 Ws? Keep asking the question why. Keep asking the question why. So let's basically go further, right? Okay. Okay. So you can see this, right? There is basically a list. There's another, better organized thing where there's a gate. People are able to check in. Okay. So let's further scroll through this problem. Okay. Now I'm going to skip this because I'll leave it for you to think about it. But um, see, these are the questions. Who are your users? What do your users are doing on a daily basis? Unless you understand what they do, you will not be able to understand where the problem lies, right? Once you understand what they do, then you'll be able to figure out where do they struggle. What is that they are not able to complete in time, which is hampering, the departure of the flight, right? Now, this is where you bring in the other stakeholders into the entire mix, right? Because you may flyer is one user, but then there are so many other users who basically are working into making this solution to work better. Okay, so let me quickly go further, right? And to solve any problem, typically we make certain assumptions, right? In this case, we also need to make some assumptions, right? We can make some assumptions about the people who are there at the gate, the dispatchers, right? That they are getting people in time, right? They are getting the entire cards, right? Who in time, right? And all of that. So typically, all of this refinement and validation of assumption needs to happen before you can develop a clear understanding of what the user is currently experiencing. If I'm a traveler and I'm basically coming to the gate, right? How much time it is take for the gate it is taking from, for me to check in, and from there for me to board the aircraft. And by the time I've boarded the aircraft, till the time the craft is flying, how much time is there in between? All of those I can only understand when I get into the role of each of these users, right? Unless I basically refine my research to understand, that will basically build my knowledge. It will give me the insight into the problem, and at the same time I need to have empathy for my users, right, who are part of the system. So unless I have empathy for my users, I'll not be able to really cherish their point of view, the problem that they're facing. Unless I get to understand their problem, I'll not be able to give them a solution, right? So typically that's what, right? So I'll quickly move on to this, and I want to look at chat for once to understand. um, okay, guys, I'm not able to. Suyesh sir, can you please confirm if you are, if people are able to see the, this thing, my screen.
Sir, I am getting the screen clearly. Some of the participants are also getting, but I hope there is problem with some of the participants. They are
I
not
said,
getting
I
the.
guess, you could always have shifted to the laptop if you are having a problem with the mobile phones.
Yes.
But yeah, okay. I just want to quickly check, take a dipstick here. How many people are able to see the screen here correctly? Can you please put a yes on the chat there so that I can understand? Yes, at least few of you are able to. Um,
Some of the participants are not able
okay,
to see the
Raghuram sir, I
screen.
think you need to really. Were you able to, see the screen previously? Okay, I can only see not visible. Is it that for everybody that you're not able to see it? Right now, I'm not sharing anything, but otherwise, we have been into this session for an hour almost. Yeah, so I was talking about previously. Okay. Suyesh sir, would you like to fix this before we go further? Because there are a lot of
Sir,
not
please
visible
try to
things here.
share again if it is possible for you. We can check because in the settings also I have allowed to every
Yes,
right
sir.
to everyone. Participants, there
Can you
was
hear
the
me, Suyesh sir? Are you there?
yes, sir. Yes, I can hear you, sir. It was the problem with the previous session also. Can you write in the chat? I guess in the previous session,
Okay,
everyone was able
CP
to
ma'am,
get the
again,
screen.
I'm again resharing my screen. I'm not sure if you are, what's the challenge there with you? Because if it is visible to one, it should be visible to all. It's not like there is a selective sharing here. Um,
In the first session
okay.
today, it was visible for everyone.
So
Can you now write in the chat whether the screen is visible right now or not?
So what we'll do is we'll stop, here. CH sir, would you like to get this fixed in some manner?
Sir, I have checked the settings and I have
Okay, I can see one person saying
allowed the
screen is
access
visible. Can I know
allowed the
from
access
others
to
if the screen
everyone.
is visible to them or it's just not visible to so many of you? Is it visible? Was it visible to anybody? Right now I've stopped sharing, guys, but then I've stopped sharing right now, so it may not be visible. It
No,
will
sir,
not be
nothing.
visible now. Anybody was
Sir,
able to
can you
see it
try with
prior?
some other,
Mani sir,
sir,
I
if
will.
you could,
I guess you can unmute yourself and you can,
No, sir, we can't
sorry,
see anything. We can't see
not,
anything.
you're saying right from the start of the session, you were not able to see anything?
Yes, sir, from
right, sir.
start.
Okay, guys,
Let me check again. I am sharing my screen from here. Here. If
sure,
my
please.
screen is visible,
Okay,
let me check.
so yeah, that will be more better, I think.
Is the screen visible right now?
Yes,
Yes,
sir.
sir, your
So we
screen
can.
is
Yes, it's
visible.
visible.
I am sharing the schedule of the FDP,
Yeah, it's
right?
visible, sir.
Yes,
Yes,
sir.
sir. We can.
Okay.
Okay, let me again try to share my screen. Um, and actually, I'm sharing my entire screen with you. Now, is my screen visible to you?
No, sir.
Okay. Mani sir,
No.
we
Still,
can fix this. We can fix this. I am sharing the login details with you. You can join with my logins. Then you can share the screen. I guess that will be the right thing to do. Okay,
Sure,
sir?
just mail it to me, sir. I'll log in with
Yes,
those
yes, yes.
other link. I'll just sign out from here, okay?
Yes, please. Yes. I have requested Mani sir to join again with admin login so that he can share the screen properly.
Okay, sir, we are waiting.
Suresh sir, can you hear me?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so what we'll do is, in the interest of time, for everybody, let's stop it today here, right? And we'll, get it started tomorrow from somewhere in between. Between today and tomorrow, let me fix, whatever problem you're having. And also for you guys, right? Please try to register on the link that I had shared earlier, so that tomorrow when we start, you're all there. Okay. So let's stop it today. Let's not take any further of your time, and we'll start tomorrow. Okay.
So at least today we can have that idea whether your screen is visible or not.
That
If you
let me
can try within last
uh,
5 minutes.
yeah. No, point is I need to clean the cookies for me to sign in with somebody else's login ID. So maybe I'll
Okay.
pick up a different machine tomorrow, because on this machine it's really difficult for me to sign in with the different credentials. I tried that. So Suresh sir, we'll do some we'll get
Yes,
some
sir.
time
We can.
tomorrow prior to this,
Yes,
and then we can set it up.
yes, sir. We can have this session end here, and we can
Mm.
start over it again in the next session, because
Yeah.
you have another session with us, and till then you can use another machine and try to use
True,
that
true.
login which I have shared with you.
Yeah, yeah. And tomorrow sometime we'll connect over the same link, sir, to fix the issue as well. Okay. Prior
Right,
to
sir.
this.
Right, right, right.
ठीक है. Thank you, guys.
Okay, sir.
Yeah, we'll stop here for today. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, sir. I would like to call the session coordinator of this session to present the vote of thanks.
Uh, I would really like to express my sincere gratitude for the insightful and engaging session. Your expertise and examples, which were clear for the screen, made the session truly valuable for all of us. Your contribution not only enhanced our understanding but also motivated us to explore the topic further. We would greatly appreciate the time and effort you have dedicated for preparing the wonderful session, which will be continued for sure tomorrow. Thank you, sir.
Sure, thank you. Suresh sir, can you please stay back for a while?
Yes, sir. I am going to stay here. The participants can now leave. I am sharing the feedback link. You can all fill the feedback. Dear participants, I would like to tell you again, the feedback link is not equivalent to attendance. Your attendance is automatically marked through MS Teams app. So if you are joining the session, then no need to worry about the attendance. This feedback link is a mandatory part of the FDP, but not equivalent to attendance. So you all are requested to fill it. I am sharing this link again in the WhatsApp group, so you all can fill it.
So yes, sir, I've actually WhatsApped you something, the approval consent. Uh, can you just do that? Can you prompt that number on your machine? Put that number.
Okay, sir, checking. Yes. Yes, sir, approved. You can check it.
Yeah, yeah.
Dear participants, you can fill the feedback and you can now leave the session. We are going to end this session here.
So let me try to share over here, okay, and maybe we can see if this is working.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. The screen is visible to me, sir.
Can somebody else also validate if the screen is visible to them?
Sir,
Participants
not
are there.
visible. Not
Not
visible,
visible?
sir. No, no, sir.
Visible as a
जो लोग विजिबल कह रहे हैं क्या ये पहले भी उनके लिए विजिबल थी? जिनके लिए पहले नहीं थी उनमें से किसी को दिख रही है तो प्लीज लेट अस नो, राइट? Somebody who was not able to see earlier, is it visible for them now?
I guess it is visible for everyone right now.
Yes, it is
Uh,
visible, sir, now.
it was not visible earlier, none, sir.
Yeah, sir. It was not visible in my phone.
It's visible now, huh? So
Yeah,
tomorrow we'll use your credential, Suresh sir. Okay.
Sure, sir.
okay, sir.
No
Thank
problem,
you.
sir.
ठीक है sir, done. Let's call it quits. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, sir. Thank you for the valuable time you have spared. And tomorrow also we have a session from Manisa. I hope you all will be getting the hands-on experience on principles of design thinking and this course by IBM. Uh, by the meantime, you can check your connections also. I hope there is no problem at your end. And also join the session earlier tomorrow because we have the last day tomorrow. I was sharing my screen just to show you that schedule. I am sharing it again. So tomorrow we have the session at 2 p.m. onwards. So in the last day we have three session. First session is from 2 p.m. Second session is from 3:30 p.m. and third session will be at 5 p.m. And after third session we will have a quick look at the eligibility criteria and we will share a final feedback link with you. That feedback link is mandatory to fill and we will be uploading that feedback in the AICTE portal so that you can generate your certificates. Then we will have a short validatory function, and then you all can have the certificate from your AICTE ATAL portal after attempting a short quiz that will be available by the end of the last session tomorrow. So if you have any questions, then you can ask me, or I will be explaining that again in the sessions tomorrow. So now we can break this session here. You all will be getting the certificate. No need to worry. No need to worry about the attendance or the feedback. Just keep on completing the formalities of the FDP, right? So if you have any question, you can ask. Otherwise, it is mandatory to attend the assessment. Yes, there are three parts: feedback, attendance, and assessment. These three parts have to be completed by each and every participant to get the certificate. So you are filling the feedback, right? And you are attending the session. So we will be taking the attendance from the MS Teams. And third is the assessment. The assessment will be taken in the AICTE ATAL portal. I will show you how you can get that done. And then after completing that assessment, you will be able to download your certificates. Assessment is mandatory. Okay. Any more questions? I hope I have made myself clear. Yes, Charanjit sir, you have to attend the assessment tomorrow in the AICTE ATAL portal. I will be showing you how you can do it. No need to worry, and you can download that certificate of completion right from the portal. Thank you all. Thank you for joining. We will meet again tomorrow at 2 p.m. I would like to remind you again that the last day sessions will start from 2 p.m.